The reaction has been swift to our story on last night's news hour about the family torn apart by allegations of abuse. The parents told us that they'd done nothing wrong, that they loved and cared for their children, and the allegations against them were false. Even the family doctor backed them up, saying that the children's problems were a result of premature birth. But as Aaron MacArthur reports tonight, that contention is still being challenged.
A happy moment between mother and daughter, caught on tape. Part of the 4 hours a week Zabeth Bayne gets to spend with her baby. Bethany was seized by the government after suffering a head injury 8 months ago. The abuse team at Children's Hospital says shaken baby syndrome. It's a claim the Bayne family denies vigorously, and they've spent the better part of the last year trying to clear their name.
Well, we've just taken out a second mortgage on our home. Yep. We saved and saved, and we bought a place in Hope. We have half an acre, a beautiful new home, bedroom for each of the kids, and yeah, we've had intense lawyer bills. The doctors, you have to pay them for the services, and even just gas mileage. It's just been a heavy drain.
While they are fighting an uphill battle, there is support for the Baynes. Dr. Pat Blackshaw has spent time with all 3 children. She's convinced there is no sign of abuse or neglect.
I watch them as they bring up their kids and deal with all the difficulties of very premature children. They're excellent people, caring, loving, and I do not believe that they have abused their kids.
And Dr. Blackshaw is not alone. Specialists from across the globe have written opinions which support Zabeth's claim her daughter's injuries were caused by a collision with her older brother. Dr. John Galaznik, a pediatrician, writes, the skull fracture fits with crush injury, not shaking. The absence of observed bruising is also more consistent with crush between brother's body and floor than with head abusive slamming impact. He goes on, the assertion that this case represents injury from abusive shaking is not supportable. There is no justification for alleging that it represents abuse in any form. A noted hematologist, Dr. Michael Innes, casts further doubt on the diagnosis of shaken baby. The evidence for a natural cause of Bethany's illness is overwhelming. While the doctor's reports pile up, certain members of Zabeth and Paul's former church are convinced Bethany was abused based solely on anecdotal evidence, none of whom are willing to appear on camera for this story. But an advocacy group called Protect Our Children is willing to stake its reputation on the Baynes' credibility.
We were definitely convinced that that a wrong was done when the young lad was taken away, and we firmly stand behind the Baynes and their quest to have the child returned.
Despite the mountain of evidence, along with character references, there is no convincing the social workers. The fight for Bethany's custody continues.